Amy Steinberg here for Inner Light Ministries. To remind you of who you are. So excited to be here with you. I've been in bondage. I've been held back. I've been imprisoned by thoughts of fear and lack, and I have had anger, and I've had guilt. These are the bricks on which my life's been built. But I'm free to turn it around. Can I hear an amen? Yes, I'm free to turn it around. Yeah, we are all free to turn it around. Free to look up instead of looking down. I get so tired of looking down. But see, you know, I've been attracted, it's true, to negative thought. I get so distracted. Shiny thing, shiny thing. I get so distraught. But see, I know that I'm responsible, thank God, for my own life. Thank goodness. And I get to lift my chin up and look to the light. Oh, yes, I'm free to turn it around. Yeah, I'm free to turn it around. We are all free to turn it around. No more looking down. See, I've been in bondage. I've been held back. I've been imprisoned by thoughts, imprisoned by my own thoughts of fear and lack. And I've had anger, and I've had guilt. But see, these are no longer the bricks. I got love, I got joy. These are no longer the bricks. I got love in my soul. These are no longer the bricks on which my life is built. 'Cause I've turned it around.
Can I get a whoo whoo? Can I get a amen?
Amen.
Can I get an amen? Woo, girl, you're gonna make me have some church up in here today.
Yes. I'm ready for it.
That's Miss Amy Steinberg. Woo wee. Yeah, baby. That just yummy good. You have me doing the 2-3 count up in here.
About to turn it around for you.
Uh, you know what? We just passed the plate. I mean, you just you just said it all. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Inner Light Ministries service. I am the Reverend Deborah Johnson, and so glad to be in fellowship with you, to be worshiping with you on this day. Regardless of where it is that you are, know that the divine is right there. Right there. Every place that you are is holy ground. Isn't that something? You know, I was just teaching in one of my classes this week, and somebody was saying about that God is everywhere. And I said, yeah, but you know what? I'd like to reframe that just a little bit, because when we say that God is everywhere, we think that there are a lot of different places and that God manages to be in all of these places simultaneously. Like there are a bunch of wheres and God is in all of them. I said, no, it isn't that the divine is omnipresent. The divine is omnipresence. It is all presence. Just let that sink. It is all presence. It's not that there's things going on and it's showing up in all of these locations. All the locations are showing up in the only thing that is. Isn't that extraordinary? Isn't that extraordinary that wherever you are, the divine is? Just let that sink in. There's not more of it someplace else. There's not more music in China than there is in Chicago. There's not more love in Australia than there is in Austin, Texas. There's not more of anything anywhere else. It's all available. We just have to tap into it. We just have to know that we are a part of it. And that's why we're here. That's why we're here in Inner Light. We are here to help unleash the possibilities within us, to help us awaken from the hypnotic trance that we are our stuff, to remember who we are, to connect the dots back together again. Our aim is healing through the energy of love and the revealing of our own inner light. We encourage the practical application of universal spiritual principles to all of life's circumstances. All of them. They're not different sets of rules for different situations. There's not rules for health and then rules for wealth and then rules for relationship. No. They're not different principles for the large or the different principles for the small. It's all the same. So as you're listening to this message, I want you to have the freedom to translate it, to put it into terms that make it relevant for your life, to try it on for size, for whatever it is that you think is going on. Don't relegate it just to one arena to another arena. I may be switching back and forth, as I always do, between the micro and the macro. I may be talking about something personal one moment and something political the next moment, but that's just to help you see. Don't pigeonhole any of this. Don't pigeonhole it, because if it's true anywhere, it is true everywhere. And part of that truth is that you are part of this only thing. There's not you and some God out there. Just as God is all presence, God is all life. There's not life over here and life over there, and God just happens to be in all these lives. No. There's only one. There's only one. And we are all a part of that. We all come out of that. Just breathe that in for a moment. Each and every one of us is a part of the only thing that is, which means that we're also a part of each other. Also a part of each other. The great commandment was to love the Lord your God with all of your heart, with all of your mind, with all of your soul, and to love your neighbor as yourself. This love isn't just an emotion. It's the agapeo love. It's the oneness connected love. And if we make that our highest priority, to feel connected to the divine with everything that we have, and to know that we are connected to everybody else because we are all connected to the divine, I promise you, everything in your life would turn around. I promise you, if we could live into that truth, then all of the broken institutions that we know of would reform. That even if they're not broken, they would at least evolve into their next iteration of whatever is the best for humanity, for all of us, as well as the planet and all of her species. Oh, it's a wonderful adventure that we're on. One of the things that we do here faithfully every single week is we offer you 100 words, 100 words to change your life. They are affirmative activations. They are concepts, they are principles, they are practices, they are perceptions, they're promises. And if you dare, and I do mean dare, to really embody them, and the embodiment comes through repetition, the embodiment comes through the remembrance. If you dare to really allow yourself to resonate with the frequency of the energy, of the potentiality of the divine idea behind these concepts, oh, what a transformation you will have. If you are in the position to, I want to invite you to actually say them out loud with me as they appear on your screen. Our topic today is mirroring the best in each other. There is no limit to the greatness that humanity can become. There's enough room for everyone to fulfill their purpose. We are blessed by the magnificence of each other's lives. We enhance one another with our radiance. Rejoicing in sufficiency, we celebrate all needs being met. We are portals of peace, purveyors of prosperity. We create opportunities for one another and open knocking doors. We celebrate in each other's bounty and good fortune. We mirror to each other the best of what is possible. To bring forth the beloved community, we live simply so that all may simply live. Just breathe that in for a moment. And to help prepare our consciousness to open up the energetic space within us, I'm going to invite Amy Steinberg to come on back.
I thought it might be fun to do a little mashup of two beautiful sing-alongs. One is from me and one is a Christy Snow tune. Just to prepare us for this beautiful message, I wanted you to be able to sing if you could, if you wanted to sing with me. This is I Am Holy Light. You'll learn it very quickly, and it's going to be a mashup with a song called I See You. song. I am prosperous, health and wealth. I am prosperous, love and joy. I am prosperous, I'm one with God. I am one with God. Oh, prosperous, one more time, come on. I am prosperous in all areas. I am prosperous. I am prosperous. I am one with God. Let's end with the light as we started. I am a holy light. Join me singing. I am a holy light, shining bright. I am a holy light. I'm one with God. I am one with God. I am one with God. I am one with God. One more time. I am one with God.
Thank you. What a gorgeous, gorgeous medley. Thank you. That's Amy Steinberg, everyone. You want to check out her work, I'm sure. Let's just breathe that in, huh? Just breathe it in for a moment. Yeah. We're talking about prosperity. And our topic today is mirroring the best in each other. You know, I think for so many of us, when we think about the word prosperity, we think about external things. What comes to our mind are a lot of material goods, a lot of possessing. We think of prosperity a lot of times in a quantitative manner that's measured by stuff. Prosperity is an inside job. Just let that sink in for a moment. Like all of the spiritual qualities, it is an inside job. The level of prosperity that you feel has more to do with your identity. It's not the external quantities that you have. It's a sense of an internal identity. When we know that we are tapped into the only thing that is, when we know that we are part of life and that we are part of the divine, when we believe that it is a friendly universe, that we have a right to be, that we deserve, that when you can feel that deep within your soul, then regardless of your station in life, regardless of where you find yourself being, there's an inner sense of prosperity. This inner sense of prosperity is this feeling of all needs met. It's this feeling that somehow or another that I'm okay, that there isn't something fundamentally wrong with me, even if the circumstances aren't what I want. I could be in the middle of the war. I could be a refugee. I could be in prison. There could be a tsunami that hits my town. There can be all of these external things that are going on that are very devastating to our material possessions, to our houses, to our to our cars, to our jobs, all the rest of that. And yet, if there is something within us that knows I am more than this, if there's something within us that knows that we are connected with the only thing that there is, then even in the midst of the desolation, even in the midst of all of that, there is something within us that is still feeling prosperous. There's something within us that's still feeling wealthy. I'm always struck when you listen to interviews, when journalists go into disaster areas and you're standing there, I mean, you're watching somebody stand there looking at the rubble that once was their home. And you can see the tears that are welling up. And almost always, it's followed by an expression of gratitude. Even in the midst of the devastation, it's followed by an expression of gratitude. And what they're usually expressing gratitude for is that they're alive, that their family is alive, that they made it. Just let that sink in for a moment. The sense of wealth that they're feeling, that the one thing that means the most to them, their self, they still have. You are your best asset. God has given you custody of you. God has given you custody of you. Just think about that for a moment. Sometimes in my counseling sessions, I will ask people, sometimes in my counseling sessions, when they're asking me for advice, I'll flip it and I'll say, imagine that you're a parent and your child, whatever age would be appropriate for the conversation, comes to you and tells you what you just told me. If your child came to you with the same story, what would you tell them? And usually the answer comes out that they're asking for from me. It was already within them. So you're standing there and you're telling me, oh, so-and-so left me and my life is just ruined and I'll never have any love again. And I was cheated and I was abused and oh, my life is just, oh. Or, oh, the company closed down and I got a pink slip and you know, and I don't know how I'm going to feed my family and I don't know what's going to happen. Like, what would you tell your kid if you were telling them that? And they usually come up with the answer. And I'd say, I know it hurts. I know you feel bad right now, but you're going to make it. Okay, it's going to be okay. You know, just because that person isn't in your life anymore, it doesn't mean that your life is totally ruined. I know you're hurting right now, but there's still life that's ahead of you. Okay? What I explained to them is that God has given you custody of you. You. Just as with a parent, you're controlling the resources. You're directing all these different things for your child. That's what you're doing for you. So treat yourself as good as you would want to treat your child. In your own internal self-talk, you wouldn't say things to your kid about, well, you're stupid and you're a loser, and you keep effing up all the time, and you wouldn't say that. You wouldn't say that to even if you were thinking it, you still wouldn't say it most of the time to your kid. So don't say it to you. Don't say that stuff to you. Okay. You have the responsibility to mirror to yourself what it is that the divine is mirroring to you. Just let that sink in for a moment. We've been given everything. We've been given everything. We are the only begotten. I have this series called Letters from the Infinite. And the first volume, that is The Sacred Yes. There's a beautiful letter in there, the only begotten. In scripture, when it describes the only begotten, it says that Jesus was the only begotten Son of God. First up, that word son is not an offspring, nor is it exclusively male. It can be plural as well. And it means likeness and character. To beget. We have a tendency to think of ourselves when we have a birthday as though the moment that we pop out of the womb is T0 on our timeline of life. Okay. But that isn't really the case. If we think about it, just for the people who are on the planet now, not including anybody else, just the ones alive right now, that represents over 6 billion years of pregnancy by women. To let that sink in for a moment. 6 billion years that is not accounted for. Nothing. Okay? I won't even go into my misogynistic commentary about that right now. But we are begotten. See, to beget is the lineage that comes before you. We don't just hatch like my birthday. We come from something. We actually come out and through someone. We come from something. And then that person came from someone, and that person came from someone, and that came from... We are part of an unbroken chain of life since the beginning of time. Since the beginning of humanity. Just think about that. Your direct ancestors had to live long enough to procreate. We are the survivors of the survivors of the survivors of the survivors. We are begotten. So in the spirit letter, it's saying, don't confuse a person, Jesus, with Christ consciousness. Christ consciousness is this soul inner awareness of our oneness and connectedness with the only thing that is. And the spirit voice is saying, that's the only thing I can beget. Let that sink in for a moment. This only begotten isn't that I just did something once. It's the only begotten because it's the only thing I can beget. That anything that comes out of me, from me, has to be me. It's the same thing with us, that in our human DNA, you can't be anything that your parents were not. You can't be. Okay? So it's a similar kind of thing. So that we can't be anything spiritually that God is not. Isn't that extraordinary? We are begotten. We're begotten. We come from something. Wow. And this something that we come from is perfect, whole, and complete. Nothing extra, nothing missing. That is our nature. That is our truth. Breathe that in for a moment. So just imagine for a moment if this was our dwelling place. Imagine for a moment if we stopped objectifying prosperity, looking for it someplace outside of ourselves, and knew that it was within us. How different would our life be? How much would our narrative change about who we are individually, who we are to each other, what our possibilities are? I contend that if we really knew this, we would stop making a God out of people, places, and things. Yes, a God. We make a God out of anything that we allow to define us. Don't make a God out of mistakes. Don't make a God out of oppression. Don't make a God out of spouses or the government or anything else. No. You are more than this. Breathe that in. We impact each other. There's not just our individual consciousness, there's a collective consciousness. We misunderstand that sometimes, particularly when we hear that something has happened and it's the result of consciousness. And we think, well, it's a condemnation or something upon the consciousness of like that individual person. But no, everything is a result of consciousness. So say, for example, you may have a particular physical condition. That's a result of consciousness. May not be just your consciousness, but the consciousness behind the pollution of the air. That's had a negative effect on your body. The consciousness behind how we farm the foods, and then the impact that those foods have upon your body. There's all these what we may call environmental factors, but the environmental factors often aren't a part of nature itself. It's things that we have created. The further away we get from this sense of this inner identity of being one with the only thing that is, the more we feel like we have to control things out there. Okay. The less friendly of a universe we feel that it is. So the way that we treat each other is not a reflection of what we think about them. The way we treat each other is a reflection of how we feel about ourselves. Let that sink in for a moment. The way that we treat each other is not a reflection of what we think about them. The way we treat each other is a reflection of how we feel about ourselves. So, if I feel that I'm superior, if I feel like I'm the best or like I'm always right, then I'm going to treat you a certain way. It isn't so much that I think you're less than and I think you're always wrong. It's that the lens that I'm walking around with, that I'm the one that's right, that I'm the alpha dog, that I'm the top dog. It's like that lens is going to make me see other people in certain kinds of ways. So if you look like me, you have my social demographic profile, then I might look at you and feel like you're my peer or you're my equal. And if you don't, then I won't. Okay. But the way that we treat each other is based on how we feel about ourselves. If I'm walking around and feeling like a humble child of God, just grateful to be alive, and realizing that each and every person that I come into contact with is holy. I'm going to realize that because I'm walking around with a lens of goodness. I'm walking around with a lens that's perceiving holiness. So if I'm perceiving holiness in myself, then that's what I'm going to be seeing in you. My topic today is mirroring the best in each other. Mirroring the best in each other. So not only is this how I treat everybody else, a reflection of how I feel about my own self, that the way that I'm treated is going to impact how I feel about me. I was just watching last night, and I highly, highly recommend it. It's new on Netflix. It's a conversation between the actress Viola Davis and Oprah Winfrey. And it's a plug for Viola's new book. I think it's called Finding Me. It's an autobiography. Oh my goodness, is that a good show? Such a really, really good show. And she was speaking so much about her own sense of self-worth, the way that she was treated, the things that she went through growing up. And it was just this good reminder of the degree to which we're all impacting each other's self-esteem, how we're all impacting the ways in which we're seeing our own selves. So each of us has a right to know that we're perfect, whole, and complete. But sometimes the mirror back that we're getting from other people is not that mirror. That isn't the mirror. But the reason why they're not mirroring that back to us is because that's not how they see their own selves. So it becomes this vicious cycle. I don't know who I am in spirit because I'm not feeling connected to the divine. Because I don't know who I am in spirit and I'm not connected to the divine. I can't see you're connected to the divine. So then I treat you in a way that says you're not connected to the divine. And then because you get treated that way, you begin to question, well, maybe I'm not connected to the divine. Maybe I am all of these things that other people say that I am. And then your search doesn't go as deep as it needs to go to transcend all that so that you do know that you are one with the divine. It's like this rat race that goes around. But the good news is that it also works in the reverse. It also works in the reverse. This is what inspiration is. This is what role modeling is, even. This is that point when you so are ingrained, when you are so grounded that there's something about you, there's something about your essence, there's something about your presence that makes something rise in me. There's something about the way that you're walking around in the world, and not necessarily that you've got it all together, but just your vulnerability and your willingness to share your stories, your willingness to come clean, your willingness to let us have a bird's eye view into your struggles, and the sharing of those victories. That's a prosperity. That's a wealth. And as we share that kind of wealth with other people, we help and trigger something within them. Oh, I am so passionate about this, as you might can see, because nothing excites me more than transformation. Nothing excites me more than watching people get awakened, of seeing people woke. Not only because of what it does for them, but what it does for the whole planet and what it does for the rest of us. It's contagious. All of it. The doom, the gloom, the apathy, the naysaying, it's contagious. The joy, the sense of expectancy beyond particular expectations, the willingness to dare and to rise above the circumstances and the conditions, that's also contagious. That's also it. So what does your life say? What does your life say? What are you mirroring back? There's another letter in the Sacred Yes that's a warning to organizations and particularly to churches. No, it's an admonishment. It's not a warning like of something that's going to happen. It's an admonishment of something that is already happening. And it said that too many religious organizations, and it used the front door as a metaphor for being in their presence and participating with them. It said, you have a funhouse mirror at the front door. It says, a funhouse mirror distorts. It takes certain aspects of what's being reflected into it and exaggerates it out of proportion. It's saying that's what we're doing. Too many religious organizations is we're putting people in front of a funhouse mirror that gives them a wrong sense of who and what it is that they are, and that we're then believing the images that are in that funhouse mirror. And then it said something else I think this is really deep. It was saying that a mirror can only reflect what it sees. So don't look for who you are mirrored back to you in the eyes of other people, because they can't see you. They can't see you, not because there's something wrong with you. They can't see you because they can't see themselves. They don't see the divine. So how are they going to reflect that back to you? Because a mirror can only reflect back that which it can see. So the Spirit's voice says, come to me. Come to me. Because I am the only thing in the world that's capable of truly beholding you, of seeing you fully and knowing who you are, and being able to reflect that back to you in a way that's positive and affirmative. Let that sink in for a moment. What mirror do you stand in front of? Are you standing in front of the mirror of a credit report that's reflecting back to you, or your bank account that's trying to make some judgment about you because of your spending patterns or whatever's happening to you financially? Are you standing in front of the X-ray, the MRI that's showing some bone fracture or some spot, and you look at that and think, well, that's me now? No, it's not you. That's a certain something that's going on with your body. But you are more than that. You are more than that. And I want to invite you to do something. Literally, to look in the mirror. I just closed out a series called Healing Divides. It's been the last 7 Wednesdays. And one of the exercises that they did was to look in the mirror. Just and see what you see. Call out the spiritual qualities that you see. I even had them as part of this exercise is imagine all of the people that you're having difficulties with. Imagine their eyes looking back at you. And call out the spiritual qualities that you see. I see in us resilience. I see in us strength. I see in us, well, like whatever that is. And to even push it further, so even take those things that you are upset about or that you think are in your way, and imagine them looking back at you and doing the same thing. Cancer, I see in us health. Finances, I see in us restoration and wholeness. I promise you, I know it may sound crazy. Just do it. It's like wax on, wax off. Just do it. And at least 2 minutes at a time. And I promise you, you will be shocked at what you get. I promise you. Let's take a breath. I'm going to pray. Oh, how great. Oh, how great thou art. Great is thy faithfulness, Lord, unto me. And great is our faithfulness, Lord, unto thee. By any name, still the same. Allah, Jehovah, Krishna, Grandfather, Sky, Mother Earth. On this beautiful May day, we give thanks to the earth, to the bounty, knowing that we come from her. Adam. Not just Adam, earth being, reddish brown color, literally, linguistic. The Adam from the Adamah, from the Mother Earth. We are physically begotten. Within us are the very chemicals and minerals of the earth, iron and all. So in this moment right now, we give thanks. We dare to rise above all the clutter and the confusion, the naysaying, the apathy, divisiveness and distraction. We go to the transcendent place. We go to the place of wholeness, of oneness. We anchor there. It is our dwelling place. We live there. In this consecrated space, we call forth all of the wisdom of the ancestors. We call in the powers of the element, the earth and the wind, fire, the healing waters. We know that the only thing that is manifests itself in the lives of each and every one of us is all needs met. Manna from heaven. The daily bread for our needs from day to day. We say thank you. Thank you for the healings of the body temple. Thank you for those financial needs being met in the most mysterious and unusual way. Thank you for the clarity of purpose. Thank you for the hardened husks that drop off of our heart so that forgiveness and compassion abound. We give thanks for the discerning mind, third eye open, so that we see way beyond the appearances. We pray for peace around the world. Pray for peace at home, for right action. For right action, with purified intent, open access, freedom, liberty, justice, goodness, care, sufficiency. We pray for this and so much more. Create in us a clean heart, O God, and renew a right spirit within us. It is done. We get out of the way. We allow it to be. And so it is. Amen. Aho. Shalom. Alhamdulillah. Amen. Whew.
My God is awesome. Awesome. I couldn't help it.
Please, please.
I took your talk again.
Please, go for it.
And wrote some words.
Do it, do it. Let's hear it. Bring it on.
To get it all together. All right.
Go on, go for it.
Put it with this song. My God is awesome. She can move mountains, keep me in the valley, and hide me from the rain. My God is awesome. Heals me when I'm broken, strength when I've been weakened. It saves me from the pain. My God is awesome. 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 Prosperity. To see what it lives. It lives inside of you and me. Oh yeah, the way we treat each other is a reflection of the way we see our own perfection. So what is the lens that you're seeing through? Because how you see me is how you see you, and we can inspire each other to be the best self. This is the gift that grows spiritual wealth, and this joy is contagious, this willingness to rise. The way we see truth is the look inside. This God is awesome. This day is awesome. This moment is awesome. You are awesome. My God is awesome. She can move mountains, keep me in the valley, hide me from the rain. Oh, my God is awesome. He heals me when I'm broken, strength where I've been weakened, and saves me from the pain. My God is awesome. Sing it with me. Awesome, yeah. Awesome. Awesome. God is awesome. I was listening.
Wow. That was amazing.
Did you know you said all that?
No. I really, I mean, that's part of the reason I'm stupefied. That not only that you had the brilliance and the genius to make that into a song, but that I just received all that.
I mirrored it back to you.
Thank you. Because I'm so in the zone, I never remember what I say. So I have to hear it. I have to look at the recording to remember. So Wow. Whoa, that was a lot.
It was good though. It was really good. Your messages are so powerful.
Wow, thank you. I'm 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 really I'm really humbled. Thank you for that. That was a gift. I hope it was as good for the rest of you.
Oh, oh no, it was good for us. Hopefully, it was good for you.
That song was good for me. We got to get that out there. That's a good song. I mean, in its own right, that's a really good song.
Well, and the
Wow.
awesome song, I believe, is Charles Jenkins. It's either Charles Jenkins or Donald Lawrence. It's a classic
Yeah,
gospel
yeah,
tune. You
yeah,
may have
yeah,
heard it
yeah,
before, of
yeah, yeah.
course. And I
Uh-huh.
just thought wrapping it in that because everything you're
Yeah.
saying is so awesome.
I know. I mean, the way that you put that in there, it's like, wow, that just rocked it. Yes. Good. Well, I hope everybody has received it
Me
this week.
too.
Yeah. And if you're feeling inspired, there's a group of people that are waiting for you to just hop right in. There is a Zoom party that's going on right now. And if you want to just jump on, they're there, they're a host. You have a chance to talk to each other. Think of it sort of like a virtual social hall um, after service. And they're coming in, literally, they're coming in from around the world. Probably at least three different countries will be there, maybe even more than that. And it really is an extraordinary experience. And also to let you know that we're a praying community. Okay. So just as we got through praying here right now, please, if you have a heavy heart, if there's anything that's going on, and just let us stand in agreement with you as well. If there's something going on that we can hold for you in consciousness, you can give us a call at the number that's scrolling there, 831-465-9090 at extension 254. You can also send us an email at the number four prayer at innerlightministries.com. Someone will get back to you. We have people who have trained 3 or 4 years to be able to hold the consciousness in the space, to be able to pray with you. It's all confidential. Please, please do not try to go through anything by yourself. Just lean on our consciousness, okay? Because we can hold that space for you, that everything is already all right. That would be our pleasure to do that. And I want to invite you to participate in conscious giving, to support this ministry, for the message that we put out, for the various things that we're doing. And there's one thing in particular, it's a special ask that's time sensitive. So we've been in a particular center for almost 20 years. We sold it, escrow closed at the end of September, and we had 6 months to be able to stay there. And while the developer was getting their building permits, it's going to become a 70-unit, 3-story senior assistant living facility. We have 3.5 acres there. It's going to be great, great, great usage of the property. So actually, the lease was up yesterday, and we're just moving the last of the things out. The last line in the affirmations today was about living simply so that others can simply live. We have cleared out 15,000 square feet of stuff, a lot of stuff. And the vast majority of it, honestly, we are letting it circulate. It's in the hands of other organizations. It's in the hands of other people. Some people call it downsizing. It's right sizing. And we were already moving in that direction, and COVID just kind of pushed it. A lot of the big campuses, whether they're corporate campuses or whatnot, are also rethinking their space as more and more people are working from home. And we had a sanctuary that sat close to 600 people, in addition to all the other things. So for those things that were really, I'll call them like more specialty items or things that were harder to get or to come by, we are actually in a partnership with an organization, an individual representing them, and we are shipping those things to West Africa, to Burkina Faso. And I'm going to show you a couple of pictures now so you get a sense of what it is I'm talking about and the magnitude. We're talking about all of the pews, all of the chairs that were upstairs as well, all of the appliances, the stoves, the 3-drawer refrigerator, like all of that is going. This is what it's looking like now. And most of that's even gone now. It's completely empty. And upstairs too, that's the sanctuary. We're sending, I mean, scores, dozens of printers and computers, electronic equipment, furniture. It just goes on and on and on. Things that we're sending, doors. And it's going into these crates that are being shipped to Burkina Faso. We are in a fundraising drive to complete that. We need about another $4,000 to complete that, and that can go out. We're sending it to the villages, and those pews and things, not only will they be going to churches, but they're going to go into hospitals and clinics and waiting room areas. The chairs in the balcony have been separated so they can be individual chairs that they can bolt down for children to have chairs in their classrooms. There's a big community center that has been built that serves a number of villages where the large appliances are going to go. The extra AV equipment, the sound equipment, and the speakers. And in this particular center, there's also a job training program where fixing things, fixing computers and printers and rehabbing things is part of the skill development. And we've been doing this with this particular group for years. This is mainly, we've sent tools before and equipment and clothing. Now we're sending things that are even rarer to find. So I'm asking you, if you would be, out of the goodness of your heart, feel that call. It's not a supply problem. There's enough. There's enough in the world. It just has to get to where they can use it the most. And everything has the blessing. So the blessing and the energy of all of that stuff that we have had is going on. So if you can make that extra contribution, because we want to get this thing shipped, and we want to get it shipped within the next few days. So as you see the opportunities and ways that you can do it, there's a QR code that's on the screen right now. You can also find that on our website. There's donate buttons that are there. You can use Cash App. You can also text. There are many ways that you can make that contribution. And I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you in advance. I know that we can get this done. I know that we can get this done. And I feel so, so, so incredibly good about it. So I say thank you in advance for your generosity. Later on today, at 3:00, if you're in the Santa Cruz area, come on down to the 418 Project. We meet there on the first Sundays of every month from 3 to 5. Just have a grand old time singing and getting together. There's no preaching. There's no sermon going on. It's all fellowship and all gathering. The 418 Project is at the old River Street Theaters. on River Street. And we would love to see you there. Bring your instruments. We just have a grand old time there. Check out our calendar for the upcoming events and things that are happening. Follow us on social media. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. And I am going to bring Amy Steinberg back to close us out. Although I must say, I felt like that last song was an amen. So come on back.
I thank you so much for having me. What a blessing. What a gift. I absolutely adore you. Wish I could come to that party today. I just thought I'd close the little chant of mine called Love, Sweet Love, because I feel it in me. I feel it around me. I feel it through me. And I like singing, and I like when people sing with me. So this is a simple chant. You can sing with me. It goes like this. Love, sweet love, surrounds me now. Love, sweet love, comes through. Love, sweet love, surrounds me now. Love is the only truth. Love is the only truth. Love, sweet love, surrounds me now. Sing it with me. Love, sweet love, surrounds me now. Comes through. Love, sweet love, comes through. Surrounds me now. Love, sweet love, surrounds me now. Love is the only truth. Love is the only truth. Yeah, yeah. Love is the only truth. And I love you. Happy Sunday.
Thank you, Amy. Thank you. And I just, being of loving things, I love all that color and that artwork that's
Thank you.
around you, on you. Yes, very, very joyous.
Thank you.
As we always say here, take this consciousness and multiply it. See you next week for Mother's Day.